Good morning, good evening. Just as we go live, the coffee machine turns itself off. Good job, coffee machine. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's live chat. I'm totally out of whack. I'm totally out of practice. So if you notice the audio's off, if you notice anything is off, please let me know. I did pull apart part of my set to take away with me, so I had to put some things back. We also have Louie, who has not left my side since I came home, but Louie is in the house, so we've got Louie cam running. There we go. Bring him in. Hello, Lou Dog. Good morning to everybody who is jumping in the chat. It's great to see you all here. Doug's asking, what is this Vidsummit you speak of? We're gonna have a run through my experiences with Vidsummit, some discussion points I've written down. But first thing I want to hit. Well, let me know. Actually, let me know in the chat. Do you want to hear about my opinions on StreamYard first, or my opinions on Vidsummit first? So let me know in the chat. We can go with whichever way you go. Now, I just want to say here, Moya Anderson, so good to see you here. Thank you so much for jumping in. This is my mum, everybody. Is it bad that I've been home for a week and I haven't video called my mum, so she had to join a live stream so I would talk to her? Yes. Yes, it is bad. And thank you so much for jumping in, Mum. Thank you. And we've got some Fiberific girls in the house as well, which is fantastic. So good to see you all here. We've got live stream consultants, amazing yacht destinations. Look, the resounding thing is Vidsummit, StreamYard, Vidsummit from Kelly. Good to see you, Kelly. Thanks so much for being here. Okay. So let's just jump in. Let's go with Vidsummit first. So Vidsummit was insane. Like, let's just start right at insanity levels, okay? So I had my very first, Josephine says, I'm listening, honest. Good to see you, Josephine. I had my very first long haul flight. So before me trekking from Brisbane to Dallas, my longest flight was Brisbane to Auckland, which I think is around, I want to say around 3 hours, or thereabouts. Oh, before I get too far into it, we're at 492 subscribers on this channel. So if you have not yet subscribed, and I'm seeing some new faces who are here, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so if you are into live streaming and what have yous. Doug says that 3 hours can confirm. Oh, that's right, because you just flew to Auckland, of course. So that was my longest flight before this. So I watched so much content on how to survive economy long haul flights, things that you need to get, things that you go, like just all of this stuff, just all of these things that are super useful. Now, probably the best tip I was given was get yourself some shoes that are closed-in shoes that you can slip on and slip off without needing to lean on something or bend down to do it. Because in America, when you go through TSA, everyone has to kick their shoes off. And make sure that you have socks on your feet, because the thought of barefoot on that ground that has had literally tens of thousands of people walk over it between getting steam cleaned, which it's probably more than tens of thousands between steam cleans, wear socks that you've got time to change before you go and get on your plane. All these little things. The other top tip was, in little Ziploc bags that are sealed, have some things like these. Some Ajax disinfectant wipes, or whatever the brand is that you have for disinfectant wipes, as well as some facial wipes and some other bits and I just had some standard wet ones and some specialized cleansing wipes for faces, just in little Ziploc bags, so you didn't have to take the whole bag with you. I will say I was so happy that I had disinfectant wipes with me, honestly, because when I first got on my plane there was something a bit sticky over the notch for opening the tray table. And I was just like, yeah, and so I was able to just wash my hands and wipe that down and make it all make it better. So little things like this that were just great advice. The other thing was like what to take in your personal items bag, what to check to make your traveling between airports and what have you as easy as possible. Now, I want to say a massive shout out to Doug Hewson, who gave me some of the best advice or tips. Because I was traveling with one airline all the way, there was some tips he gave me that they didn't actually make clear. And that was a service that this airline provided, which was instead, because I had to change from domestic terminals to international terminals, because I flew from Brisbane to Sydney and then Sydney to Dallas. Qantas, thank you Qantas, has an ability where you don't actually have to go and get your luggage and then go out the front door and go to the next terminal. If you're traveling Qantas to Qantas, which is what I was doing, not Jetstar to Qantas, even though Jetstar is owned by the same company, it has to be Qantas to Qantas. They have or Qantas partners, like what are they, one, whatever. Anyway, they have this thing where you just go to one of the other gates, you know, show your boarding pass for the next flight, and they put you on a little bus and drive you across the actual airfield. Like you don't go out and then you're back in. You don't have to go you don't have to go through security again. Like it was just awesome. Like little things that made life so much easier. So yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one. Holly sent me a care package. Welcome home. Thank you, Holly. Holly sent me a care package. My hotel took a couple of days to actually put it in my room for me because I was going out before 7 in the morning and wasn't getting back in till like after 8 o'clock at night. And by the time I was coming home, I wasn't thinking about, you know, picking anything up from reception. And I'd asked them twice to please put it in my room. They eventually put it in there, and holy dooly Holly. Not only did I get some amazing treats, but I was able to share some of the 11 billion treats with some of my new workmates, which I was very happy to be able to do. There was a couple of things that I knew I wasn't going to be able to get through customs, which was all like that mango, which was absolutely delicious. So I was able to share that, which is really cool. Are you right there, Lou Dog? Like you're jangling. Okay, thank you. So that was amazing. Now, one thing I want to say was when I landed in the USA, I was expecting jet lag, right? I'd heard all this stuff about jet lag, and aside from being tired and a little bit sore, I was fine. So I landed, got refreshed, had a shower, got changed, and then went over and started working that day. They didn't expect me to, but if I was able to, they had work for me to do. So I was able to jump in that day and help me sort of get to, I wanted to be tired for bed that night so I could get onto the time zone as fast as possible. So I landed mid-afternoon and then went to bed by about 10 or 11 o'clock that night. So so then the next day I woke up and I was feeling fine. Like I woke up late, I'll say. I was supposed to meet Doug and Home Rapid Repair for breakfast at 10. I'd set my alarm for the wrong day and woke up at 11. So we ended up meeting for lunch. So that was amazing to actually meet Larry from Home Rapid Repair. And one thing I will say, which was something I mentioned in Doug's stream the other day, was that I've seen more of Doug in the last week in the USA than I have in the years that I've known Doug and that we live, what would you say, about half an hour from each other, maybe 40 minutes. And I think we've met up 2 or 3 times in the years that we've known each other. Anyway, that's hilarious. But so there was all that side of it. Now something that those of you that came to Vidsummit worked out is my new job. And I was keeping it quiet purely only because of the reason of it's still too good to be true. And I keep feeling like they're going to realize they made a mistake and fire me. So, I mean, and that could still happen, but the reason I got to go to Vidsummit is because I now work freelance for Daryl Eves. So, one of my, I can't talk about what I'm doing for him other than that I'm just doing some research, which I'm really enjoying. And it's just been really nice. So part of working with Daryl Eves is he likes his whole team to attend Vidsummit. And that was why I was able to go. So instead of just like going as an attendee, I went as staff. So that means that my view of Vidsummit is going to be different than those of you that attended as attendees, because I was doing things. I was behind the scenes and working rather than just sort of getting to hang out and chat and do all that amazing stuff. Now, in saying that, some people still found me up on my level 4 corner and came and chatted with me there. And I was able to do that, but I had to maintain a post. And so having people come and find me was absolutely amazing. So I got to meet live stream consultants. I got to meet Home Rapid Repair, these guys who are in the chat every single week. It's so, so good. I also got to meet, my brain is just, it's hurting. I wrote a list. Travel Around Susie, who is sometimes here in this chat. She came and found me and to say hi. One regret I have is I never think to ask for a photo. I never think to ask for a photo, and so it's one of those sort of regrets that I have. I come back and I've got no photos, because also while I took some stuff away to possibly do any recording, I didn't do any. I didn't have time, and it wasn't in my brain. I was working and doing other things. So I also got to meet Viper for the first time. Shelley Saves the Day for the first time. Stephanie Garcia, Michael Stelzner, Phil Starkovich. Like, the list is huge of all the amazing, Rob Balasabas. And then the important thing for me was I actually got to meet my new workmates for the first time, which was really awesome. So it would definitely be amazing. Live stream consultant says, I can send you the one Larry took for me. That would be awesome. If you got a photo with me, if you could send it, that would be so good. I know Larry got one, and I've got that one because he shared that, like Larry, myself, and Doug. So that's Home Rapid Repair. So yeah. So one of the things I absolutely loved about Vidsummit was just how positive everybody was. Now, I haven't been before, and so I don't know if it's normal. It probably is. But every single person I spoke to was super positive about their YouTube journey. Not just about the event itself, because, you know, I'm wearing a bright purple staff shirt. Most people aren't going to complain about an event if it's a staff shirt person. But the over, like, everybody I spoke to was just super pumped to chat with other creators and to talk with people. And there were just so many conversations happening. And I think people really are taking on board that the replays are available to everybody who attends. So if you actually didn't attend, you can actually buy the replays now standalone. So you can start watching, and more replays are being added. Like, they're dropping them in as they're being added. They're not waiting until all of them are ready before they drop them. So keep an eye out. I know the workshops aren't up yet, but the plan is for them to go up. There's more panels that are going up, things like that. So that's all slowly being added as they're being edited. So you can go in and buy your own copy of the replays. So, and because the replays are so easily accessible to everybody who attends, so many people like, look, I'll watch the replay. I'm going to stay here and have this conversation with this human. And I just thought that was just so awesome. Like, obviously there was still some events and some things where it was just like absolutely need to be there in real life, but which definitely makes it worth going. But I've always heard from Doug, from Nick, from everybody who has attended, that it's just about the connections and the conversations in the halls. And I've always gotten a replay because I'm so far away. I've only been able to get the virtual pass or the replay tickets. So being able to actually watch it and see it all unfold in front of me, of just these connections being made, and people like I would be like, hey, is there anywhere we can go quietly to record something? Because you know, we want to do a collaboration right now, and we didn't have anywhere for that sort of thing, but it was still really exciting for people to sort of ask that question. Doug says, you're not going to get YouTube haters pay money and solid money as well, like nearly $1,000 US a ticket to come to Vidsummit. The positivity is refreshing. It really was. Home Rapid Repair didn't think of it in that light. Yeah, that's the thing. People who are willing to spend money on their businesses or on their channels, or have the ability, not just willing, but also have the ability to do it, are usually have a different mindset. And so they are more likely the ones that are coming and going, I need to learn things. I need to get, more knowledge. I need to understand how this works, and being able to go to these events and see this. It's a different mindset of people that come along to it. And it was so refreshing, because as a moderator in a lot of chats, you do see a lot of haters and a lot of negativity and a lot of people having a whinge. So being in an environment where everyone, I'm just trying to think, I can't even think of one instance where somebody was being negative while they were at Vidsummit. I can't think of a single instance. And not to say it didn't happen, but not where I could hear or see it. So it was just absolutely phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I'm just having a little look through the chat here, because I do not want you to feel like I'm ignoring you, because I am not. I'm just trying to keep focused, because I don't think I'm actually over jet lag yet. Like, I was talking to some friends about it, because I've come back, I hit the ground running in the US. There was no problems there. Absolutely hit the ground running. And then when I came home, I've been home nearly 7 days now, and I am still not back on top. My brain is still not quite there. And I was having a chat, and I was just like, is this just jet lag, or is it because I'm like such a severe introvert who spends 95% of my time alone, that it was so overwhelming being there with so many people, that not only am I dealing with jet lag, but I'm also dealing with, recharging my introverted battery. I don't know the answer to it. So it's very difficult. And I think I really only had one instance where I got so overwhelmed. There was two instances. One where I was so overwhelmed I had to leave a space, which was the party. I went into there's a kickoff party, and I went upstairs to it after. And I think part of it was I was so tired, and the party was already in just full, just totally in full blown party mode. It looked like people were having such the best time. But I sort of went in, and I was there for maybe 10 minutes, met Viper. Actually, he found me in the crowd, which was hilarious. I was trying to because I could feel the music pumping, which I love music, but also there were so many people, and I just felt like there was just people touching me. And it was just because it was there was so many people up in this space that I couldn't find any. So I ended up leaning up against the wall so that I could have just some, one surface of my body not being, near too near people. And I was just like, right, I got to get out of here. And so that's what I had to do there. So I came along, had a little look, and ran away. And then the second thing where I had to sort of bounce was I was in something on the Friday, and I think I was just already so tired and just so overwhelmed by the whole thing that this extra thing that I was doing it just became too much, and I had to sort of just walk out of the room. So luckily for me, it was at a point where I could, which was really cool. So the parties are for the young'uns. Yeah, and I think I'm past the parties. Andrew Can, welcome to the chat. Frankie says, people absolutely exhaust my INFJ brain. I also am an INFJ, and it's stressful. It was a lot. But also so glad I did it anyway, and would happily do it again. Maybe with some extra preparations, with some extra mental exercises, just to really help me through some of those instances. But I would say 97% of the time I was fine. So, and that was the thing. I was just fine. Live stream consultant says, I was so energized with being there with so many like-minded people. As an extrovert, I was actually a little depressed when I had to leave to head home. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things, isn't it? We all have our different personality. I was sad to go home because I was meeting all my new workmates, my new team, getting to meet all these amazing people who I've either worked for, worked with, or chatted with over the years. And that was amazing. So I'm like what's known as like a social introvert. So I can be social in situations, but I need to be alone to recharge and still be awake, not just sleeping, which I think was the problem. I was getting enough sleep, but I would like wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. By 7, I would start work. I would get back to my room by sort of 9 or 10 at night, but then I'd be asleep by 11. So there wasn't any real time just to sort of take it in and decompress. It was just go, go, go or sleep. And I don't recharge while I'm asleep. So different people do different things. Let me have a look here. Michael Sahovsky, that's totally cool. What did I miss here? Amazing Yacht Destinations. Did you hit 10K? Huh. I'm trying to get to 500. Let me just check just to see. I've got my little dashboard open. Load that. Wow, we are at, oh, you hit 8K. That's awesome. That's actually phenomenal. I'm at 496 now. We just need 4 more to reach the 500. Wouldn't that be cool if we could both hit a milestone on the same day? That would be amazing. I love that you've hit 8,000. And I think it's like, in a way, I kind of think it's funny because I know what impact your channel is having on people. And like, yeah, you hit 8,000 subscribers, but how many views have you got? So yeah, what am I using to stream right now? I am streaming with Ecamm. It is my preferred. We're going to have a little discussion about StreamYard and my feels after I finish waxing lyrical about Vidsummit. So yeah. I'm thinking about making a real bronze play button. It may be funny on the channel. I think that would be amazing. And I think that if you can work out how to replicate it, there might be people who'd buy one off you. Yeah. Live stream consultant says, I was so thrilled to spend the time I got to have with Doug and Chantelle at Vidsummit. I'm already plotting and planning for next year's event. This is the thing. We have the dates for next year. We have a little bit more time to save and plan. It's October 7 to 9. So if you can, oh, hang on a second, just to jump in here. Be careful making the making those play buttons. YouTube has some issues taking serious action against false ones in the past. Really? Because I know you can definitely buy like versions on Etsy. I can imagine that if you made your own silver or gold, that would be an issue, but they don't have a. Yeah, it's all fun and games until YouTube. Yeah, fair enough. Did you come away having met so many people that have seen huge YouTube success that you have been playing too small? You always come in with the best questions, Russell. I know I play small, and it's just how I do things. And I know that that's why my channels stay small. I know that the decisions that I make, the decisions that I make on my channels are why they are the way they are. I'm not one of these people that go, curses YouTube, why don't you give me extra subs or give me... I know why. And it's because I'm not putting out the content that the viewers want. I get it. And it is playing small. It is playing a little bit small. I would agree with you. But I look at it like I'm playing a different game. And my goal is not to have X number of subscribers or you know, this many views. My goal is to have really great communities of people around me in these two, because I'm in 2 different spaces. And to have both of these amazing communities of people being supportive of each other, and not just like sub dodgy supportive, but actually supportive of each other, where they can talk to each other about serious stuff and fun stuff and light stuff, but also have good, meaningful conversations about their creator journey, not just how many subs have you got. Because one thing I'll say, in the whole time I was at Vidsummit, I talked with hundreds of people. Not one single time was I asked how many subscribers my channels had. Not one single time. And it was so refreshing. I've gone to so many events where the first question is, how many subscribers do you have? Florida, why does 500 seem meaningful? 500 and 1,000 actually have an impact. So 500 has an impact because it gives me access to YouTube tools and features, as in channel memberships. 1,000 could possibly give me access to AdSense. These are not, I think everyone should be aiming to be monetized. So getting those sorts of things monetized. In saying that, I've got my little buy me a coffee logo up here because I'm going to be super frank and honest. Buy me a coffee does give me more income than and I do have memberships over there as well. It does give me some good income to help, continue this journey on this channel. So the reasons why those subscriber goals for me are important is because at the 500 you get access to fan funding levels, so super chats, memberships, super thanks, stickers, things like that, things that fans can chip in, or viewers. I don't like it that it's called fan funding, but viewers can chip in themselves and make that decision for themselves. And then the 1,000 for that full AdSense, where the ads that play, I actually get a share of the income, because right now the ads that play, I don't get a share of the income because I'm not in the partner program. Now, after the 1,000, I couldn't care. I know that there's still things that are gatekeepered to, I think, is it 15,000? And if I was even in the US, which I'm not, or South Korea, but I don't have access to the YouTube's, Andrew, we were talking about it on Saturday morning or Friday afternoon for you. What was that? Yeah, my brain won't give it to me. But yeah, so 10 to 15,000 K subs to get access to the YouTube's affiliate stuff. And then after that, there's not really a lot that's actually gatekeeper to subscribers other than play buttons, access to YouTube staff, things like that. So while I like the idea of a play button, and I really do. Oh, Amazing Yacht Destination says, thank you for all of the positivity.
Yes, it's coffee time. Coffee.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I did hit the coffee button.
Jabba.
Let me know if you can hear it. Livestream Consult says, I don't think it's a matter of playing small. I think it's playing your game for your content. Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, how we all look at things is different. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, is that we do have different goals. So we do have our, Doug says the affiliate requirement is slowly coming down, because it was 20,000 and now it's down. I think it is 10,000 now, I think, because it went to 15. I think it's down to 10, but it's still limited to USA and South Korea, I think. Moya says, asking for how many subscribers is like asking how much you get paid and judging your worth. It's rude and small-minded. Yeah, and I think a big part of it, I think, is because for so long, YouTube did gatekeep so many things behind subscriber goals. So you couldn't get access to community tab without 500. You couldn't get a custom URL till 100. And a lot of these things are changing. So now the second you make a channel, you can customize your URL, but your handle creates your URL. So you can customize that straight away. The second you've got the certain levels of verification, which for me, I'm happy just to jump in with physical ID verification and go straight to top level verification. Whereas I know some people aren't happy to do that. I'm just like, whatever, phone number to get that basic level verification, and jump in with some photo ID to get that next level of verification. And you can get access to a lot of features because of, verification levels and also good standing. So as long as you're not doing the wrong thing, you're not getting copyright strikes or community guideline strikes or warnings, then you're able to still have access to a lot of stuff. So YouTube really are bringing that And it's been such a pet peeve of mine for so long, but YouTube really are removing some of their subscriber goals from things, but not everything yet. And I still go grrr a lot whenever I see something. Like right now, I could not redirect this live stream to Doug Hewson's channel because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So that to me is dumb. If Doug has his channel on lockdown and doesn't let anybody redirect to him, that I get. But if Doug added me in as an approved redirect, why can't I do it? I don't know. Thank you, YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Home Rapper Repair says that he's at Vidsummit, he spoke to tons of people and nobody asked the channel size. It really was refreshing. I go to some local events and it really is like the first question is, what's your channel about? And then the next question is, how many subscribers do you have? And it really does put me on my back foot because I know why my channels are the way they are. But other people looking in from like not knowing me, never having seen my content, they don't know. So they do judge it. And you're just like, oh gosh. Russell says, I'm curious, as my December trip to BBD Live, I'll be surrounded by folks 10 to 100 times above my level of success. Well, didn't they have to start at your level of success at some stage? Like, did they not? They didn't just jump straight over it and never hit it. And that's the thing. I look at it as it's a ladder and you need to hit the rungs on a ladder to keep going up. Like, sure, you might be able to skip the occasional rung, but you can't skip 10 rungs and still make it up. You've got to go past those rungs. So I look at it that way. So everyone was where you are. Every single person who is there, who is 10 or 100 times bigger than you, has been where you are and does know where you're at. And even though they're at different niches and they're selling different things, they know where you're at. They've been there. So let's have a look here. Oh yeah, Doug's confirmed it's 10K and it's US and Korea. Yep. Yeah, I was having a look at it on Saturday and I didn't see India on the list, but you know, sometimes those things aren't up to date. So I never made it to a single session, no sessions. And I haven't had a chance yet to watch any of the replays, which I'm really hoping to. There's a couple that I'm just like, I really want to get in on and have a good look at. I'm a massive fan of Leon Segev. I've done his Security for Creators course, which if you can do it, go in and do it. It made my eyes very big and made it very, I had to start working on it only during daylight hours. I couldn't go to sleep. Russell's asking, what was the single most enlightenment you brought back that will improve your channels? Well, this is the problem, Russell. I was working and didn't really, I was just catching up with friends. I don't know if I have a single most enlightenment that I brought back, because I didn't go to Vidsummit as an attendee. I went as staff because I work for Daryl now as well. So I've still got my other clients, my other people that I've worked for, which was something I was so amazed about, because I applied for another role with a local company and they said I was going to have to give up all my freelance clients and this channel. I would be allowed to keep the Fiberific channel. And then Daryl Eves comes in and says, no, you can keep everything as long as you can balance the hours and do the work. I don't care. You can keep everything. So totally different attitudes in that regard. But no, I went over there to work. I went over there to be part of the Vidsummit team and work on the event. But one thing I will say in regards to this, will Justin be jealous? No, I don't think so. He's actually been super supportive about the whole thing. Wait, sorry, sidetracked. I'm showing 500 subs. Let me just refresh. Oh my gosh, I really am. I've got a button. Hang on. I didn't make it for this. It's in a different group, but I've got like a cheer thing. Will that work? Yes. And this one. Come on, I would like gold. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, there it is. It just took a bit. Oh my gosh. That's just so... Oh, I don't even know what to say. Thank you all so much for helping me just smash that one. I very much appreciate it. You're all awesome because I didn't do that. You guys did that. You came in and subscribed. Oh, wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's a big goal kicked over. Celebration coffee. Time for another Yeti. Russell, you don't know, but my family gave me a Yeti handled coffee mug for my birthday. So I do actually have now 4 Yetis. And Abby, who was like, Yetis are dumb, has now come back. Has now come back from, 3 months living away with like 4 of her own Yetis. She is now Team Yeti. But thank you all so much for getting me over that hump of a milestone. That is just amazing. So thank you all so much for helping me to do that. Well, for you doing that for me, because I can't make you do it. Like, I'd be like, put your finger on the button. No, I can't. So thank you all so much. Eileen Smith, it's good to see you in the chat. Growing to Live says, what a great opportunity for you at Vidsummit. Congrats. Yeah, Vidsummit was just, look, and take this with a grain of salt because technically I work for them now. Vidsummit is one of those amazing events that if you can go to it, the picture of YouTube for you could possibly change. Now, I don't say will change because I don't know what your picture of YouTube is. But your picture of YouTube could possibly change. You can, like Russell said earlier, like, do I now think I'm playing a small game? And the reality is, yes, I am playing a small game. It's just one of these things where I'm learning just along with you as well. Mum says, I'm listening with my earpods and my partner just looked at me because I was doing the yeah 500 dance. Say hi to Bob for me, Mum. Eileen says, I'm up past my bedtime, but glad I checked in. Thank you, Eileen. Russell's asking, so what? Oh, wait, I missed a thing. Hang on, I saw it. Lots of people, like, oh, that's 2 of them. Hang on, while I'm bringing up what people are saying, because I missed they're jumping in. I saw Kelly's.
Jabba. Yes!
Let me just go to, let's see here. Doug Houston bought me a coffee. Hang on a second. No, stop that. He's bought me a coffee. Congrats for 500 subs. Thank you, Doug. Kelly Paul bought me a coffee. Congratulations on 500 subs. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. Russell's asking, so what exactly did you do all day at Vidsummit? Oh, I did so many things. I was just where they needed to be. So I was the, I had one specific task that I had a role that I needed to fill, which was, I looked after some of the sponsors. So I made sure that they had water, and I sort of was a bulldog, which, well, they don't like it that I use this term, but I was a bulldog for a door. That only allowed sponsors and speakers in, so there was a space where they could go and had to make sure they really were sponsors and speakers and they weren't bringing friends and things like that. Yay for 500, thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Frankie over 50, I know that's you. I don't know how to say it, but I know that's you.
Yes.
But yeah, so I did that, but I also worked on registration for a whole day. So as people were coming in, well, not a whole day, it was 8 hours, but it was the second half of a day. So I worked on registration. So as people were coming in, getting their tickets, are you right there, Louis? I was helping them get registered and things like that. I also helped do lots of different things. Eileen Smith bought 3 coffees. Well done, Chantelle. You reached 500. Thank you so much. This has turned into a 500 party. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so I was on that door a lot. I was dealing with the sponsors and helping them out with their questions. I basically I also had a computer there, and I was answering emails and people's questions in the Hoover app. Like a list of things. I helped organize some of the accommodation stuff before I went, and then also a little bit after I went. Just basically anything I was asked to do, I did, like by the team. Anything I could help them with, I did. I helped put signs together. I helped, you know, it was just like, it's a huge effort for such a small team to actually make it happen. So we all just do what needs to happen. But once everything was all set up, and all the signs were, and all the big photographic backgrounds were built and set up, and my job was to go and be the bulldog on the door. So I did that. I also looked after the podcast room. So I would have to pop down, double check that was good, because it was on a different floor than where I was. So I was moving around a little bit, but I pretty much stayed at a door with a key. I was the gatekeeper. So I don't know if that helps. It's so I just did what I was asked to do, and I was that person that they knew where I was. That was the big thing. The team knew where I was, and they would be like, someone would come over and be like, can I do this thing? Larry says, Larry bought 5 coffees. Thank you, Larry. 500 subs is legit hard work. It is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Russell, I don't know if that helped or not. I don't know if it did help. I did a lot of different stuff. Did you get an autographed copy of Daryl's book? I contacted Daryl, Roberto, and Brian G. Johnson, all 3 of who I have their books. So I double checked before I left that if I brought my books, if they would sign them for me, and they all have. So Daryl has signed my book, Brian G signed my book, and then I was able to, you know, snag Roberto at the last minute to get him to sign my book as well. So I do have an autographed copy of Daryl's book, and he wrote a really nice little note in there too. So actually they all wrote little notes. It was very, very cool. So do we have any other questions about Vidsummit that I can answer? I may not be able to answer, but I can certainly try. So if you're a person who wants to go to Vidsummit 2025, keep your eyes peeled. Tickets aren't open yet for 2025. I will definitely let you know when they are. You know, hands up in the chat when the tickets open up, who's getting a ticket? Because like, I would like to say I'll be there. I'm hoping I'll be there, but I can't guarantee it at this stage. No cowgirl hat. No. I actually, believe it or not, I didn't have any time to go anywhere like outside of the precinct. And it felt a bit weird going all the way to Dallas, but then just staying at the convention center precinct. So other than some work I did on a Sunday before I went home, and then one of my offsider who worked with me, he took me for a big drive around downtown Dallas to show me all the cool places. Like we drove past the guy who owns the Dallas Cowboys house, and like it was just hours and hours of like a driving tour. It was fantastic. So yeah. Live stream here we go. So we've got I'm like, why is the hand? I did say raise your hand. So home wrapper repair is going. Doug is going. Live stream consultants is going. Growing to live is going to go. Frankie over 50 is thinking about it. Yeah, and I agree. If you can swing it, because I know, Frankie, you're like me, and you've actually got to travel further because you're in a different state. Definitely. Amazing Yacht Destination says, I got to focus on my channel so I can afford it maybe in the next couple of years. Yeah, because it's not cheap. Like, this is the thing. Not everybody can go to Vidsummit. And I get it. You've got different income streams, different commitments in your life. There's so many things that can make it hard to travel across the world to go to this event. Now, if you're in the USA and you're telling me you can't go, I'll be looking at you a bit differently. Because I'm like, really? You don't have an international airfare? Like, yep, sure. You've still got the ticket to buy and you've still got accommodation to deal with. Like, that's not nothing. But you don't have that international airfare on top of it. So, I always like, really? You don't think you can go? Oh, that would be amazing if you could get time with your sister as well. Oh, that would be special. Even if you just go to see your sister and you can't make it to Vidsummit, like, going to hang out with your sister would totally be worth it. Yes, Livestream consultant says the nice part is we have almost 13 months to prepare for it. Oh yeah, Amazing Yacht Destination says some of us also have to get visas. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes you've got to get approved for the visa, and that's tricky depending on, you know, your country of origin and where your passport is and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes that can just be too hard and not doable. You know, and is your passport valid across that period of time properly? Like, there's so many different things. Andrew, thank you for sharing the stream into the group. I really appreciate that. So do we have any other questions about Vidsummit? Now, I'm straight up, I didn't attend any of the panels or workshops. I'm really relying on my replay for that because I was external to some of that. I had a place I had to be for the whole sort of days of the event, so whether it was on registration or doing something else. Really? Because you're coming in from New Mexico, so they're tossing up if it's Mexico or New Mexico. Oh my gosh. Really? Anyway. I'm not saying anything. I'm really not going to say anything. Let me just have a look here. Just double checking. Tippers? Yeah, I had to adjust to tipping. I did have to adjust to tipping. That was the thing. But I think I did okay because I knew it wasn't a surprise. A link for the replays. It's just the straight up Vidsummit. Hang on, I can't. There you go. It's just a straight up Vidsummit website, and you can just click on a link there to. Did I spell that right? Yeah, but it's not going to be clickable because it's wrong. Sorry. I do have it in the description. The description below. Yuppers, not tippers. What are yuppers? Thank you, Doug. Doug's got the good link, everybody. The best meal I had in Dallas. That's really hard. I had some really nice food. I'm going to say, there's going to be some people in this chat who are going to have a little giggle about this. I'm going to say the smoked brisket tacos, that 2 mules, were just, yeah, Doug, there we go, the tacos. Yeah, I think it was the smoked brisket tacos. I really do. They were unbelievable. And they were well priced, and the mac and cheese. I did have the mac and cheese there as well one night. I'd got 1 taco and mac and cheese side. That was good too. Like, I've come home now and I'm like, I need to make proper mac and cheese. So I've got to look up some good recipes. So if you've got good mac and cheese recipes, send them my way. I think I've got a good one that Jerry Papandrea sent me a while back. The other thing was I actually got to try Waffle House. So I tried Waffle House for breakfast one day. That's insane. I just want to say that's insane. My takeaway from that is, oh my God, waffles are not supposed to be crunchy. I didn't know that. All the waffles I've ever had have been crispy. And also apple butter I need it to be part of my life. And again, Jerry Papandrea to the rescue with a recipe for homemade apple butter, which I am so keen to do. I do just need to go out and buy 3 kilos of apples to make it. So I'm going to be making a lot of apple butter. So those friends around me, be prepared. There may be apple butter. Home Rapid Repair says that second evening, the server asked if I needed a menu. I said, no, just serve the tacos. I may have been quite passionate about the tacos. The chicken fajitas were amazing as well. I love the chicken fajitas. And then Doug had that chicken fried steak, was a delight. I had dinner at the 2 Mules quite a few nights, but because it's very close. And the last night I had dinner there was with a Texan native and who lives there, and he was just like, oh my God, you don't normally find many places that will have like tacos as well as like the chicken fried steak, as well as like the crispy chicken burger. Those are from different parts of Texas. And he was just like, do they do everything good? And I'm like, so far as I've heard, yeah. I mean, I haven't tried everything, but the things I've tried have all been good. So yeah. Are you totally agree with the apple butter? Yeah, definitely. Live stream consultant says, I think the 2 best meals I had was the one with Chantelle and Doug, and then the pizza with Doug on that last evening. You know, I never actually got to that pizza place. I never made it there. I didn't end up getting there. I had a lot of 2 meals dinners, a couple of meals at Bar Louie, Thirsty Lion. I went out for ramen with my team one night. That was fantastic. But they were all like, oh, it's not very good ramen. I was like, really? Because it was the best ramen I've ever had. And they're all a bit like, it was a bit disappointing. And I was just like, oh my God, okay. Yeah. How much of a pain was airport security? All right. One thing is, part of my airport security pain was from TSA was my own fault. I've gone to open my bag up to get all the things out. Because I know you've got to pull all the stuff out. You've got to get your shoes off. You've got to get your devices out. You've got to, everything's got to be in its sort of place kind of thing. And I've opened up my backpack, reached in for my tablet, and it wasn't there. And I was just like, oh my God, I've left it at the hotel. When I get through TSA, I'm going to have to call my friend who lives in Dallas and see if they can, deal with, if we can get them, because she was also, I have 2 friends who lived in Dallas. One of them, she could actually deal with the hotel on my behalf. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to have to deal with that. So my backpack actually got pulled by security. So my other bag, my shoes, my trays of stuff, all that came no problems. My backpack got pulled by security. And it was at a time where the lady pulling all the bags, she got quite angry. And she was just like, iPads need to come out. You're all told iPads need to come out. And there's like all these 4 bags that got pulled all at the same time. But there were already bags lined up. So it is quite a wait. If you get pulled aside, it's quite a wait. And I'm sort of like, waiting for my turn. And I just said to the lady who was checking the bags, I'm like, look, I know this is your horror story and that you hate it when this stuff happens. But if you find my iPad in that bag, I'm going to cheer, because I thought I'd left it at the hotel and I thought it was lost. So if I'm going to do a dance if you find an iPad in that bag. And she started laughing and like, so, because, like I can't imagine working at TSA is all that like, of a positive experience for the most of the time. People are grumpy and surly and rude, like a lot of the people in front of me were. But I was just like, if you find an iPad in there, I'm going to laugh and cheer and dance. And she was just like, guess what? And I'm like, what? She goes, there's an iPad. And I'm like, yeah. So like, I'm like in TSA, like doing this like full on victory dance. She's laughing. Nobody, because it was just a conversation with me and her. No one around us knew what on earth was going on. I think I was the only person to do an actual dance when they found their iPad in that bag. Yeah. Did you get over the tax not included thing? Look, I only made a few purchases outside of food and accommodation. And yeah, I would look at like the price and I'd just be like, okay, I can afford, that plus whatever, like some random arbitrary amount. And so I would just go to the checkout and just wait for them to tell me how much it was and just like deal with it, because there's nothing that I can do. But I can tell you, do you know what? There are places that include all their taxes. Waffle House, their menu says prices inclusive of all taxes and charges. So yeah, I did do some money exchange. I really didn't need it. Ended up having to use some of it just to use it up. But I really did use my card most of the time. But I also don't like to travel without any cash. I just did like $50. I didn't do a ton because, you don't want to have to pay for something with a card when it was like $1. You know what I mean? Like that feels defeatist to me. But the Waffle House was just insane. The servings were just crazy, and it was. And I tried grits, and I need to talk to my mum about it, because I actually, when you eat something and then you remember that you've eaten it before, I've definitely had something like grits before. So she probably called it something else. It was probably called something else, but I always thought grits were going to be gross. Grits are not gross. Grits are good. So yeah. All right. So what I want to do is we're running, like, we've been chatting a lot about Vidsummit, but one thing I do want to hit on is what's happening with StreamYard. Okay, so let me just open the next beverage. I'm gonna need fortification for this. Okay. StreamYard has recently brought out some changes. It happened just before I left, and it was just get the kids out of the room. StreamYard is adult talk. So just before I left, I noticed some conversations happening over on the StreamYard community page on their Facebook page, which is now barely moderated by anyone at StreamYard. And it's just become a bit of a dumpster fire, I'll be honest. How do I put this? I've never wanted to be wrong so desperately as I was when I found out Bending Spoons was buying StreamYard. Bending Spoons ruined Filmic Pro, ruined Evernote. I didn't use Meetup, but I heard they ruined Meetup as well. But I'd used Filmic Pro and I'd used Evernote, and I had to leave them after StreamYard, after Bending Spoons took them over. And so I already had a bad taste in my mouth from knowing that Bending Spoons had taken over. And it didn't take them long to upset everybody. So, but first things first, they got rid of all of their support staff, or most of their support staff. So now when somebody has a problem, it could be days before they get any help rather than minutes. Which if you go into the community, that's becoming quite a big issue. A lot of people are finding out, when they would normally have been able to jump in and get help, they're not getting help for ages. And the poor people that are working support are being totally overrun with help requests. The new, the information that all these new features were coming out, like that we'd been waiting for so long from StreamYard. Yeah, I agree with Doug here. BS no longer stands for Bending Spoons. Macy really got me with her claw this morning. So my finger has got like a big cut in the side of it. All the new features that we were promised, the dark mode, the 4K recordings, the shapes of cameras, they are becoming available, but only to the accounts that accept the new plans. Okay, and the new plans are not great. Right now, I still have StreamYard. Because I have annual plans. I currently have StreamYard. I do not recommend StreamYard. I have removed it from my recommendations page on my website. I've removed it from the description of this video. I've got to go back and use my TubeBuddy tool to remove it from the description of most of the other videos. I do not want to recommend them, which is so hard for me to say because I loved StreamYard. I thought to the point where I've actually got to go out now and learn some new softwares all over again because I'd become rested so heavily on my laurels of Ecamm and StreamYard that I haven't actually done any research on live streaming platforms for months. I just got so used to these guys really being the best options. And now StreamYard's not a viable option for anybody coming in new. But as far as I can see, they don't have a free plan. They have a free trial. Those people that were on a free plan, the basic plan, the essentials plan, it's all being rolled into what they're now calling it their core plan, which starts at, I can't remember the exact price, but when you're used to either $0 or $10 a month and now you're paying like $35 a month or whatever it is, that's a shock. I'm currently on a pro plan, which is $39 a month if you pay for it monthly, or $35 a month if you pay it annually. And that's going up to $90 a month. So I will not be able to continue it on once my current plan is out. So it's really sad. Doug has actually just hit the nail on the head. The value in the company was the people and the culture, and they're all gone. So it's no longer actually StreamYard anymore. I would agree with that. So yeah. I know someone who has started using StreamYard recently. I'll have to contact them and let them know. It is like they may be in a plan, which if they're safe in their plan, let them use it. It is still good software. It's just not worth the price. And if you have a problem, you're not going to get the help. Now, in saying that, I've only needed help on one instance, and that was when Dan and Gage owned it, and I was able to troubleshoot. I actually jumped on calls with Dan for a whole day, trying to fix this problem, because it wasn't just a problem I had, it was a problem that a small group of people had. I agree, that is a ridiculous price jump. Absolutely. EV Mux and Riverside FM are the next best things at the moment. Restream is a close third in my opinion. Yeah, look, I'm definitely going to be checking out EV Mux and Riverside FM. I already have EV Mux and had been using it as like a test bed for some stuff, so I'm going to go in and double check any changes that's happened there, because I haven't logged in for a few months. Riverside FM, I knew it was really great for pre-recording podcasts and things like that. The video quality is fantastic, but they've recently made some changes so that you can actually live stream with them now, whereas you never used to be able to. Again, I haven't tested it, and you can only test that on their paid plans. They don't have a free plan version available for you to test it, so I actually have to go in and pay for that one to test it out, which I think will actually be worth doing. $90 a month isn't worth it. For that, you could save the money and build a beefy streaming computer and multi-stream via OBS. Yes, yes, sort of. Yes, sort of. So for me, the bottleneck has never been the computer. Well, I streamed from a Surface Pro 4 for a while. That was a bottleneck, but for me, the bottleneck is Australian internet. So when you are multi-streaming on other softwares that aren't browser-based, so Ecamm, OBS, some of those others, you actually have to have the upload bandwidth to be able to multi-stream. So you need to be able to send out individual streams. So if you've got low internet, you're not going to be able to multi-stream using those. So internet is an issue. But if you've got super duper U-Butte fiber internet, then that's not going to be an issue for you at all. How dumb can a corporation be? Cut spending, cut staff, fire influences, skyrocket pricing, and think everything will be fine. So based on what they say, like what came out after Filmic Pro and after Evernote is bending spoons rely on churn. So they don't give a crap about the community at all. They buy companies that have solid communities, and so I don't understand why they don't care about the community. But they obviously, proven by the last few months of their total lack of community engagement, they don't give a crap about their community, right? So all of this time, all of this effort that StreamYard went into building this phenomenal community base, they don't care about that. What they actually care about is getting new people in and churning them and spitting them back out again. So what'll happen here is, and they're like, we're expecting to lose a few people. Really? Just a few? Okay. I think you're going to lose more than a few. And you know what? And losing all of their free people, they're probably not going to care about at all, because they make no money from the free people. So they probably don't care about the free people, but all of those pro members and all of the enterprise level members, with those sorts of price increases, you want to be offering a hell of a lot more than dark mode and 4K recordings. It's not even 4K streaming, it's 4K recordings. So if you want to be charging corporate level money, you need to be offering corporate level offerings. Like, you need to make sure it's all worth it. Yeah, EV Mux have started upping their game to their weekly streams. Absolutely. Unfortunately for me, because they are, I believe, I'm not sure where they're based, but they definitely focus on their US and their European audience. So their streams are at like 3 a.m. in the morning for me, and like StreamYards were at midday. So it's I can't make their streams. Here we go. Atom have 2 plugins to make vertical canvas for YouTube. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about Atom before. Yeah, that's right. Like, there's a lot of influencers, like all creators like Nick Nimmin, Roberto Blake, like a lot of them who, Daniel Batal, Andrew Can, lots of them who all had sort of stuff with StreamYard that no longer exists anymore. So yeah. Even for me here in New Mexico, I couldn't multi-stream with my internet bandwidth. To multi-stream, I'll have to use a browser-based system. So that's where Restream could be good for you. Absolutely. It sounds almost like they're tanking it on purpose, some sort of scheme. I don't think it's a scheme. I think they really do rely on new people coming in. They hear about the hype because the hype is still there. If you go searching for StreamYard, the music's now talking.
We'd upload it, and those videos pretty
Hang
well
on.
tanked. They didn't perform. And it's because there was no real thought or strategy put into the content at that point. Or there's also a good chance that we were creating videos that no one wanted.
I don't know where that came from. That is Justin Brown talking. That was weird. Oh, that's so bizarre. I don't know how that ended up in my Creator Mix playlist. I'm just scrolling. I don't know where that came from. It's stopped now though, right? Really? I'm just going to mute that channel just in case. A web page open in the background? Possibly. Let me look here. No, nothing's open, but that's okay. I've stopped it now. That was weird. Thanks, Justin. Please don't copyright strike me. Yeah, it's stopped now. Good. Good. I don't know why that was happening. I really want the music playing though. Let me just see if I can bring back the music without JB. There we go. Come on. Music. Okay, we've got music without JB. So let me know if you can hear Justin Brown talking again. That would be great. Let's have a look here. I wonder when people are going to start protesting, doing the angry mob thing with all the merch they got over the years. Look, you know what? I recently got like an amazing batch of merch from them for all the, stuff I've done. And I was looking at it and I'm like, but I haven't even been able to really wear any of it yet. And like I've got one friend of all, that's going to become my bleach shirt now. And I'm just like, so I will still wear them, just not on camera, because it's a waste of really good quality shirts and tops and hoodies and stuff. But I have moved. My StreamYard mug's gone. Puddles has moved. I think Louis would really like it if I gave him Puddles. He's tried to steal Puddles so many times. The little hyena dog. Abby gave Louis a haircut. He looks like a hyena now. But yeah, it's just been really disappointing. And it's not to say they won't try and fix it, but I think the horse has bolted. I think based on what I'm reading, and obviously we all know that the people that actually comment and talk in these instances are usually a smaller percentage of people. So, Doug says he's wearing his right now. He's wearing his hoodie, but he'll no longer on stream or on video. Absolutely, because it's a beautiful hoodie. The quality is phenomenal. I'm not going to get rid of a perfectly good sweater, but I will not use it on camera anymore. So Evie Mux, send me a hoodie or a sweater so I can test out your quality of your merch. Yeah, use them for garden work and cleaning the loo. Oh, that's kind of funny. But yeah, it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing because it was such a phenomenal piece of like software that we could use. We could recommend for beginners to try on a free plan. Sure, there were limitations on the free plan, but it meant they got to test it out and see if it was for them, for a good amount of time. And a lot of people did up to the next level to be able to get to the 1080p. So they were paying for the 1080p. But I believe the free EV Mux includes 1080p. So, let's see how it goes. But I'm sorely disappointed. I loved using StreamYard. I thought it was the absolute, and as of right now, in my brain, it still is the best for if you've got a guest, and I still have it. So as long as I have it, if I'm having a guest, we'll probably still use StreamYard for a while until I get comfortable with something else. Or until StreamYard block my access to my account, which I've been hearing they've been doing that to some people too. So we'll see how it goes. But companies like Restream and EV Mux, they now have an opportunity. to, you know, there are people out there looking for alternatives. So, you know, find whatever the reason was they didn't choose them in the first place and fix it. For me, like, I really don't like the EVMux branding. I think it's tacky. I was never a big fan on how they did their social media and how they would interact with people in other people's live chats. I didn't like any of that. In saying that, I haven't seen them do that for a while. So, you know, they maybe have stopped doing that. But there was plenty of things that I did like about EVMux, which was you could just use a really basic template, and it was like StreamYard, or you could go in and create a more in-depth sort of system that was a bit more of a blend of StreamYard and Ecamm together. So you could make it as easy or as hard for yourself as you wanted. But yeah, there is definitely some options out there that are definitely worth looking into. And if you need free, OBS has really picked up its act. Like, sure, yeah, you know what? There's a learning curve, but there always is with free stuff. Okay, so that's the thing. I first started streaming on OBS. When I very first started my live streaming, I needed free. And usually that involves some sort of, my brain goes, okay, so if it costs no dollar money, then it's going to be sweat equity. So you've got to learn how to use it. And you can make beautiful streams and you can make phenomenal stuff. But you do just need to understand multi-streaming is going to be trickier. Not impossible, but are you right there, dude? I'm trying to talk here. He's off. He's like, fine, I'm leaving. So there are some limitations depending on, you know, what you've got in your back pocket internet-wise. So, yeah, it has a learning curve, and it's a fairly steep learning curve. But there is also 11 billion videos on YouTube teaching you how to use it. So many videos on YouTube teaching you how to use it. And just because you're not a gamer doesn't mean that you can't actually learn something from gamers. When I very first started live streaming, the only people teaching live streaming techniques were gamers. The gaming career, the stream professor, you know, like all of these phenomenal people, which are still putting out content and is still recommending OBS. Like, go and check out their stuff because they will help you make a really great stream. And it actually makes you learn the back end of streaming. It makes you understand why bit rates are important. And you get to control all of that side of it. Like, Ecamm doesn't let me control my bit rate, which sometimes is annoying because YouTube's like, oh, your bit rate is low and therefore your stream is janky. But I haven't changed anything here and I do a speed test and my internet's perfectly fine. It just happens that way. So there'll be some videos coming up on that sort of stuff, me playing, learning how to utilize some new tools that I haven't used for a long time or tools that I've never seen before. So yeah, Russell still uses OBS. I think SMA Sky, you use OBS, don't you? You're going to look into Stream Ninja. Doug's been using the Stream Ninja for his streams, so he's enjoying it. I haven't really looked into it yet, but I definitely need to look into that as well. SMA Sky says, yeah, it tells me that as well, but you look into it and it's fine. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was one of those people where they jumped up, they thanked me for my recommendation. So yeah, it's been tricky. EVMux was searching people tweeting about StreamYard and jumping on their recommending that. Yeah. And you know what? Normally I would have been like, well, they're talking about StreamYard. Why are you, but now I'm just like, yep, if you've got a service that was competing with StreamYard, there's a lot of angry people out there looking for alternatives. Jump in, offer them something better at a better price. And there is a good chance they will come over. Frankie said that StreamYard was 100% the reason why I started live streaming. StreamYard was 100% the reason why I was able to start interviewing. I'd been streaming for a long time without it, but the second I needed to interview because of my internet issues especially back then that I had, I needed something that took the weight, and they took the weight. OBS with the streamer bot is overpowered, but steep learning curve. Yes, it is a steep learning curve. Live stream consultant says, I use OBS all the time. Just have to pay attention to the outbound bit rate for me. Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, you do. I thought you did. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? So SMA Sky started with OBS, then went to Streamlabs OBS, but then heard they did some shady stuff because they did. They were so dodgy. And then went back to the base code of plain OBS. Yeah, they stream. It was when it was slobs. Streamlabs OBS. Like, they had been asked by OBS to not use their name, but they ignored them and they still made it OBS. So they did some dodgy stuff. But in saying that, we've all made mistakes in our lives and we do need to rectify it. As a business, you would think they would have known better. Hello. Anyway, do you have any other questions for me about Vidsummit or StreamYard? I'm sorely disappointed about StreamYard. I'd put that out there right now. I thought the team they had were phenomenal. Not just Gage and Dan, but also the rest of the team, their support team, their engineers. I thought they were all fantastic, all working on stuff. And now they're just about all gone. There's hardly anyone still there. And the care for the people is gone. And that's the thing. The one of the big things I loved about StreamYard was how much they cared about their community. And now it's so obvious the Bending Spoons couldn't give two craps about the community at all. They cannot read the room. They came back, like, all these people were upset and they came back with why they do things. Like, did you know that you can't actually go in and check out the prices of OBS, of StreamYard, without actually setting up an account now? So if you're a new person who just wants to go and check it out, see if you can afford it, you can't. You have to give them an email address, otherwise you cannot get in. So yeah, you just can't. And I hate that. I don't think you should block the pricing page from people who are making buying decisions. Oh, you wish Ecamm would create a Windows-based version? I don't think they're planning to. I mean, right now would be a really great time for them to announce it. Like, by the way, we've decided to do this. But I think they really are. They really are very deep in sort of the Apple arena, and it's only Mac OS. It's not even iOS. It's only Mac OS. Doug says the StreamYard situation gets him riled up. Yeah, it makes me sad. Like, I get angry and sad because it's just, they just threw away all the goodwill they had. What did you bring back for presents or souvenirs? Abby had one major thing that she wanted me to get, which was the largest 7-Eleven cup I could find. And I got that for her, and she is over the moon about it. And then with Tim, it was some of the snacks and things. Like, I brought home like some Beastables, or Mr. Beast Feastables, I should say. I brought home Holly, who was in the chat earlier. She sent me this amazing care package, and it had some C's chocolates in it. So I kept that sealed, and we ate those together. There was some saltwater taffy that I'd never had before, so I brought home a packet of that, because I could only bring home things that were, like, food wise, that was sealed, like commercially sealed. So that did limit some stuff. I do have a new backpack now, which I have, which I love. I'm just trying to think. Most, like, other than the stuff that Holly gave me, and other than yeah, it was yeah. I didn't really bring home much stuff. Was there any leftover merch or handout goodies? If there was, I don't know about it. That was a different department than me. The only t-shirts I got from Vidsummit were my staff shirts, so I have 2 of those. So yeah, was it the 6? I got the largest one that was available at the 7-Eleven I was at, and it was basically this cup of, like, we filled this with water and we poured it in to her 7-Eleven cup, and it all fit. So yeah, no, I did not get a swag bag because I was not an attendee. I was staff, so we didn't get swag bags. Only attendees got swag bags. So yeah, I didn't get any of that stuff. I did I did score a hoodie from High Level because they saw that I was freezing cold where I was, and so it was just a hooded long sleeve t-shirt, which was just perfect just to cover my shoulders and back so that I wasn't so cold where I was. I did not steal a hotel towel. They're just plain white ones. There was nothing special about them. Not that I would have considered it any other way, but no, I did not. So yeah, I know it's very, very disappointing that I didn't bring home much stuff. Next time I will definitely bring a bigger bag, and so that I can bring home more things. And I will make a bigger effort to go and find some extra things. But I found out later, like, because in my brain I'm like, I'm working for the event, I can't accept anything from the sponsors. I can't accept, you know what I mean? Like that's how it is. But it turns out that's not how it is. So I could have said yes to some stuff that I didn't say yes to. How did power adapters work? I bought a I bought a socket, like just a socket adapter, like not a power adapter, but just a socket adapter. Because most of my devices are all USB-C powered. So as long as I could charge my my power brick, then I was fine. Yeah, here we go. Doug's made the TLDR for today's stream. TLDR is Vidsummit equals yay, StreamYard equals nay. That is the TLDR of today's stream. Totally pro Vidsummit, no to StreamYard. Yeah. It's definitely yeah. I wanted to see, like, I can't remember how big this water bottle was. Should have it written on there somewhere, right? Designed in Texas. This is a 36 ounce, so it's just over a liter. So it was that one. But the lady in the store said that some of the other stores had one that was bigger, but their store didn't have a big one. Yeah, I did put a lot of my time into StreamYard. A lot of us have, because it was so good. So now we have to pull on our big girl pants and go and test out some new ones. You know, and that's not a bad thing. I probably should have been keeping on top of all of them all along. And that's on me. So yeah. Yeah, that perfectly sums it up. I think so. Yeah. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions for me, I got to go and celebrate 500 subscribers and go and check the watch time now, because that's the next goal. We've got to hit that watch time goal, and then I can join the ranks of fan funding approved peoples. But we're not there for the watch time yet. But that's just down to me making more content, and that's on me. And you know, like, you guys will watch it if I make it, but I make it, you can't watch it, right? I get that. I understand that. So, yeah, wow, 500. I'm so excited. I just want to see if it's, you know, if it held steady or if we lost on. Because that's the other thing. You get to 500 and then it drops down to 499. You're just like, sad. But no, we're holding at 500. So thank you all so much. Like, so much for helping me hit that 500. It felt like such an enormous goal. It really did. Like, because I live stream predominantly on this channel, it does make things slower. But yeah, I'm truly grateful. Truly grateful. I will catch you all here next week, and with Doug's stream on Sunday. Oh, here we go. Did people recognize the accent, or did people think you were from somewhere else? Look, most people were like, they were double checking I wasn't from New Zealand. They were like, I think you're from Australia, but could be New Zealand. I had one person who shall remain nameless who was telling other people I was from London. Wrong. That's right. He's apologized profusely. But yeah, no, most people did know that I was from somewhere else, which was kind of cool as well. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Estimated Sky says I'm over the 1K subs now, but just under 2K of watch time. Yeah, I got to get to 3K of watch time. The 3,000 watch hour minutes within 365 days. So, you know, we'll work on it. We'll see how it goes. We'll all work on it. We'll all work on it. A friend of mine had a shirt that says, yes, I'm Australian. That's kind of funny. I like that. I wouldn't be able to wear it because I have to wear work shirts, but I could make a badge. Yes, I'm from Australia. But yeah, all right, everybody. It was so awesome to catch up with you all. And I will see you all here next week. I hope you have a fantastic week. Please go and have a look at some of these other softwares and alternatives to StreamYard, and go and check out the replays for Vidsummit. And I will catch you all back here, same bat time, same bat station next week. Bye now.